Joe Zekas from YoChicago.com, New Homes Magazine. Sitting here with George Thrush. Let's stay on the buyer theme a little bit.
Sure.
Because again, people are in a kind of a Mexican standoff with sellers from what I hear. Oh, we're probably not supposed to use the word Mexican standoff, but they're in a standoff with sellers, and they don't have a perception that they're going to lose anything by waiting. That they're not going to make any worse deal, and they're uncertain. What would you tell them?
Well, I just go back to the stock market. I mean, the people who wait, an awful lot of them just wait, and then it starts to strengthen, and they say, oh, well.
Then you missed it.
No, I missed it, or I'll just wait for it to go back down or whatever. And it's not, see, it can't happen. I mean, anybody who looks at all of the factors realizes that real estate cannot go down in a few years. I mean, it can't go down. You know,
You go down in the short term.
It has
Gone down
as opposed to the trend has been like this. How much is it going up a year? 15%?
Your construction costs are not going to get cheaper.
Yeah.
Your land is not going to get cheaper.
Right. But I say prices have gone up, and they've gone up consistently. And what's really happened is they've leveled off, and the demand has diminished. Actually, the demand has not diminished that much. There is a greater supply, and that's going to be worked out. Everything is going to work out. It's going to work out. It might take a few months.
Well, let me put it this way. Maybe if I'm a buyer and Thrush is willing to deal with me and cut me a price that I couldn't have gotten 3 years ago, but I look and I say, because of the supply, other developers are going to be experiencing more pain, and the banks are going to take their stuff and they're going to liquidate it, and I'm going to get a better deal there than I would from Thrush. So why would I buy from?
Look,
I'm not agreeing with that, George.
To buy from Thrush, if there were a reason, and I'm not saying that everybody should buy from Thrush. I'm not saying that anybody should buy something they don't need. You know, if you don't.
Yep.
The question is, should you put it off? I mean, there are a lot of people who have put off purchasing, and does it make sense to do it? Because they don't see for certainty the increase that they had in the past.
Well, if it were me, I would be thinking that it's shelter, it's housing.
Yeah.
It's not just an investment.
Yeah.
And if I need shelter, I should buy shelter if I can't rent it.
I guess my point would be that if you need a home, if you're renting and continuing to rent, everybody has always seen the advantages of buying, if you follow, as opposed to renting ad infinitum. They're still there. And if you have been renting, I would not be concerned about the price, be thinking, because today I believe the prices are good. I believe they're much better than they have been. You know, all the values, let's put it that way. And I would not hesitate to buy now. If I wouldn't buy a home if I didn't need. I don't think I would buy one as an investment solely. I don't know. I'm too conservative for that. But if I were renting and had to have a house to live in and saw something I liked and thought I would enjoy it, would I buy it now? Absolutely. I think you would get a better value than you would have in the past, or that you will in the future. I think now is the time to buy. One of the factors is, what are mortgages? I mean, everybody's talking about a credit crunch. I mean, I don't know what the hell they're talking about, frankly.
It's getting harder for people
it's harder,
to get financing.
It's harder to get a mortgage if you don't, depending upon your income and, you know, all of the metrics that are involved.
But people are forgetting that harder to get a mortgage means, for those of us who've been around for a while, that it's no more difficult than it was 6, 7, 8 years ago before the madness of the last half. It really has been madness almost in the last half dozen years.
My point is, what is the cost of a mortgage today? I mean, you were talking earlier about a time when prime rate was 21.5.
And mortgages were 17.5.
I mean, from my perspective, we're talking about a period which has very low mortgage rates, which is a good time to buy.
I never thought I would live to see rates as low as they have been for the last half dozen years.
What do you think mortgage rates will be? Do you think they'll be higher or lower 3 years from now than they are today?
Not being an economist, I just look back on a perspective, and I think the single biggest factor is that the United States has been bleeding so much money overseas, and we're borrowing so much of our lifestyle that eventually we're going to have to pay a higher rate to continue to do that. Our balance of trade is enormous. Our balance of payments is enormous. And
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
But if you had to you got people, knowledgeable people, and said, what are the odds one way or another? I think most people, if they thought it out, would go for rates, would go along with the projection that rates will be higher, that mortgages will be higher. And to buy a home now at today's values and get a fixed rate mortgage, I think, my opinion is it's a very wise thing to do if you can't afford to pay cash.